theaters. Did you go see it again?
No. Why not? Well, because I have no financial connection to the 3D picture.
Really?
So it's hard for me to support something that didn't support me.
Fair enough.
But there's always Jurassic Park 4 coming up.
Yeah,
Henry's Revenge.
You could be your evil twin or something.
no, my feeling is that it was a small dinosaur and a big meal. That, me with one arm and an eye patch, why not? How much? I would think that halfway through it, he would go, "Oh, that's enough," and then I might have survived.
What interested you in taking on a project like The X's?
Well, I'm coming back to work with Kristen Johnson again, and the idea of I love doing sitcoms, and this was shot. This is shot at CBS Radford, where I shot Seinfeld and Third Rock from the Sun, and my first pilot ever in Los Angeles. It's like Mayberry. It's the place I come back home to. All of that put together, and it was like, I don't think there was a lot of hard thinking going on. No, we'll give it a try. Now we're in the third season, so thank God.
Is there creative freedom that comes with being on TV Land?
No, not at all. No, it's the same kind of hamstrung feeling of repression that goes on every set, on every sitcom. Must I say it this way? Yes, just say it. You go, all right. Then you get a laugh, and they go, see? And you go, yeah, you're right. But I think the difference is that TV Land is a really relaxed environment. It's a lot different than a lot of other networks in terms of micromanaging. You literally feel like there are two guys running the joint, and they're warm and embrace you, and they don't talk behind your back so that you can notice. It's very nice. Very different.
How does it feel to have your show follow on the programming lineup of all these classic series? And then does that put extra pressure on you to?
Well, I think that it helps in some ways because it's like a mashup. Mm-hmm. You say, here are these people from shows that you like, and here's writers from a show you like. And we've mashed them up together, and so after you see these classic sitcoms, let's take some of these classic actors, some of these classic writers, and a kind of a classic situation, and see how it works. And I think it's working. I think that you create this honey trap for people who like sitcoms.
Right.
And then you gradually wean them off the old ones and onto the new ones. Before they know what's happened. There's a whole new slate of new shows.
It's brilliant.
How many times a week in your real life do you hear someone say Newman?
46.2. It's the .2 that really pisses me off.
Since we're at Comic-Con, I have to ask, when you grew up, were you like a fan of science fiction or fantasy or horror? And if so, do you have any favorite movies or TV shows?
Yes. Forbidden Planet. Anne Francis. Why not? That's where I first learned about the id. And I've been dominated by it ever since.
How about TV? Any TV favorites?
I watched, every single sci-fi thing that I could watch. Every single show. I was scared shitless by The Outer Limits when I was a kid. Twilight Zone was like, it didn't scare me. I was able to tolerate it, but Outer Limits really scared the hell out of me just from the music.
Oh, yeah.
To this very day, a theremin scares the shit out of me. I don't know why. But I love sci-fi. I read comic books. I grew up in a small town in Georgia, and my father would take me to the comic book store, which didn't have, I bought comics from the transition between 10 cents and 12 cents is where it began.
That was supposed to be a big deal in like 68, I guess it was.
Yeah, when it went to 12 cents, it's like, I can only buy 4 of these now. I could buy 5 of these before. Now what do I do? So I just, that's when I started hooking. Get that extra dime to buy the extra comic book.
What was your favorite comic?
Well, I started out in the DC universe, and then I realized that life was more complicated than that. Then I kind of got into the Marvel universe, and then later my friend kind of took me into the like Dark Horse and Valiant universes and other places. So, and then I reached a point where I just said I can't spend the money here because then I have to collect. And if I collect, then what? There lies madness.
Is there
Yeah.
is there a comic book character you'd like to play in a movie or a TV show?
I never really, because growing up a kind of a truculent fat guy, there's not necessarily a lot of those characters, unless you go into the Penguin or somebody like that. Where do you find those people? Well, there was actually a comic book character called Herbie who had a lollipop that allowed him to fly. And I'm like, that I could do. And it never really took off. I don't know.
You did a voice for one of the Marvel cartoons, didn't you?
I actually did Micro and the Punisher as well, which was the Punisher 2 with Ray Stevenson, which was repudiated by fandom. As I was making it, they're like, no. Give it a break. Give me 5 minutes before you hate it.
You mentioned Forbidden Planet, which is of course a classic. Were there any guilty pleasures that you had? Because there's been so many, memorably bad B movies.
Oh, I liked anything where there was spaciousness in the craft.
Okay.
I loved when the guy's sitting in cardboard chairs going, well, Captain, it's going to be a long trip to Mars, yes. And there were 14 guys in a big room, with a flat floor. I love those. I also felt like that was the beginning of the red shirt in Star Trek, because you knew that you could pick out the guys who were going to die within minutes of landing, because they had kind of out there personalities. They were jokey. And you go, the jokey guy dies. Maybe sci-fi isn't the world for me. I'm trying to, you mean stuff like Mars Needs Women or something like that? I'm trying to think back to the one, because I liked, the big ones I like any time travel thing. I like The Incredible Shrinking Man.
That's great.
Love that movie. The Fly. Not the next one. Not the David Hedison. Is the David Hedison one, The Fly? I'm trying to think. I used to go to a movie theater that would show the spider, the fly, and stuff like that. And it was the only movie theater in our small town, and they'd have these things where people would burst through the screen and pick a girl up from the front row and run off with her and scream and shit like that. I loved all that stuff.
Do you watch Doctor Who on time travel?
Yeah, having done Torchwood, that's another connection. I worked with people from Britain who were big Doctor Who aficionados. And then once you get into the Who universe, you're how far back do I go? When do I pick up? Which ones do I watch? And then you start watching them, and it's just like this. It's like going down the rabbit hole. You're there for the rest of your life. So I had to say, well, all right, from here on, maybe I'll.
When was the first Doctor?
It wasn't that. I'm trying to think. Go back to the oldest Doctor.
Sylvester McCoy? Or
Christopher Eccleston?
Say?
Christopher Eccleston?
Yes.
He's in Thor. You looking forward to that?
He's in Thor?
Yeah, he's the bad guy.
Really? Sure. Thor was never my. Asgard was never. I feel like if you're in one kind of universe of comicdom, that like Prince Namor of Atlantis never was my big thing. It was just me, personally. I like kind of straightforward. I fly. I hit things. I think lofty thoughts, and I go to some Norse land or swim under the water. No, that just is me, which is not me.
So that means you're not up for the Submariner movie?
I'm not really. I'm not like I can't. Oh, who's playing the Submariner?
You.
Oh,
No.
you gotta be somebody who really is built, right? I mean, to play the Submariner. But he also has that kind of ethereal, Thor-like worldview. You know, with Aquaman maybe, but Aquaman, I don't know. The uniform didn't play for me. It's the orange, I think.
Yeah.
You go
Orange and green.
Orange, like underwater, orange looks like shit. The fish go orange.
What was your first acting job?
My first acting job for pay was at an outdoor drama in Jekyll Island, Georgia, called Drum Beats in Georgia. I made $70 a week, and I had room and board. And I played the Prime Minister of England, Sir Robert Walpole, in the first act, and settler Ray Demery. And they would call like over the loudspeaker. Those wearing Texas dirt, please do not go in the dressing rooms. Those wearing. Warning, there are leeches in the crossover ditch tonight. Careful of the leeches. And I had this one scene where I'm supposed to, as settler Ray Demery in the second act, where I'm supposed to sing this song to Nottingham Ale. It's like, Nottingham Ale, boys, Nottingham Ale. Oh! And then drink from the tankard of ale. And it was a painted silver thing, so you didn't have to fill it. And one of the leeches got into the glass, and I went, and so a leech went into my mouth. And then my first acting role, and I'm a very improvisational kind of guy, so I immediately started vomiting. And they like carrying me off stage, and I guess it looked like I had had one ale too many.
Wow.
Have you ever played a good guy in a drama?
Yes. In Dead Again, I was a good guy. To Die For, I was a decent person. There was nothing evil about me. But these things all predated Seinfeld. And that what happens is, I think once you reach critical mass on television, it's very hard to go back into blending into film. And nothing is as visible as Seinfeld. It just, you can't escape it. So, for good or ill.
Did you enjoy the experience of doing sketch comedy when you were on the edge?
Yes. Well, I'd started doing sketch stuff. I did a series in Britain called Assaulted Nuts with Emma Thompson and William Sadler, who's a very serious actor. He usually plays villains. But done sketch comedy there, done sketch comedy on the Edge with Jennifer Aniston, and started by doing group comedy in New York. Tried to do stand-up, but it was just too scary for me. I started trying to do stand-up in Georgia at a place called the Silver Saddle Lounge, and in the middle of my set, people turned on the jukebox and started clogging. Maybe not. But I've always liked doing sketch work.
But improv is easier for you?
It's not easy, but I mean, I
Easier
did.
than stand-up.
Yeah, I did this thing, Thank God You're Here, which was a series that NBC was trying to do, which was an improv series where they just kind of throw people into a circumstance where all the other actors know what's going on, but they don't, and then you see how it goes. And I really enjoyed that so well that it was canceled immediately.
I remember seeing ads for that and then literally never seeing it on television.
It's like, it's coming, it went. It was very big in Australia and Britain, one of those kind of things.
Yeah.
It's like Third Rock is bigger in Britain than it is here, I think, in reruns.
Pretty big in my home.
Do you prefer playing good guys or bad guys? Because you're really, it's always great to see you as one of the kind of Weasley guys.
I think that I play bad guys like magnifying my own insecurities or some flaw in my character, as opposed to them being just kind of evil, bad guy. And so I have as much fun either way. and you know, you're really lucky to be able to play bad guys because they oftentimes have very interesting and funny things to do. And luckily, I will never be, you know, handsome cardboard guy. So I'm cool with that.
Do you remember playing the Guardian of the Friend Zone?
Yes, of course. Yes, on the regular show, you mean?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I enjoy that because, you know, sometimes you feel that you're mentally ill, and then you meet people who might actually be mentally ill, and you go, I'm fine. We're done.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Should have got a chance to ask some.